Now to go in the other direction, we were going over the head and over the ring at the bottom. Now we're going to go under, because we're going back in the opposite direction. So this is just to maintain this exact same weaving pattern. We're just doing it in the other direction. So first, make sure there's no twist. Follow your strap all the way through and make sure that you're going in the same direction and there's no twist. Now we'll go underneath the ring and up through the head from underneath. Once we've established there's no twist in the rest of that, again, you can pull your couple of feet through. Under the ring at the bottom. Make sure not to go inside the loop that your slab is creating here. And under there. Now we've reached the end, and we can tie our back knot. This is the knot which we were pulling away from for the rest of the exercise here. Since we have plenty of strap, you can leave 4 or 5 inches there just to make this nice and tight and out of the way. So now just for this last one, I went back over the ring at the bottom, and you have your tail coming out on the side away from where your other tail is. Then you're going to go over that strap that you just put down here and underneath it in this fashion. And then to tighten that up, if you pull on it, on the strap, and push down on the knot there, you can get a nice tight knot that's not going to slip back and not going to lose any tension later on with our pulling process. Now it's essentially laced up and we can start to pull. Okay, now we can begin our pulling process. The first run around, you're just basically placing everything. You're making sure your head is on evenly, your ring doesn't have any pulls to one side or the other, and that your straps are going relatively vertical. So as we go through, you're not going to put any tension, just kind of making these nice, neat, and even, small. Generally, I watch the ring the whole time the first time around, and making sure not to put any tension. You're just pulling the slack through. You can edge those little pieces over with your thumb rather than yanking on them, and that doesn't pull things off the side. So what I mean is when you go like this, you edge that loop over rather than just getting it to go over. By pulling it, you won't pull the head off center and you won't pull the ring out. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to go quickly to keep it short. The first few times that you do a tabla, I highly recommend taking your time in these first process because you won't end up with it pulled off to one side or really unevenly balanced. You just want to go around slowly and do it a bunch of times as you go around, as you build up tension, and the result will be better than if you just try to rush through it on the first few times. Once you've got the hang of it, you can do it a lot faster, of course, but you need to have a feel for how much tension you can actually fix from when you over pull on one side or the other. So when you first start out, I recommend going around it 5 or 6 times. Don't worry if it takes you 6 or 7 pulls to get it up to pitch. Just do it slowly. Once you have it down, you can do it in 3 or 4. Now we're at the end again. Now we can take our lacing off. You want to remove this before you get any real tension on the drum, because it will put tension down on the gob and it can mess your gob up if it's there as you're pulling it up and you're actually getting a tight tap. Okay, now we can start pulling. So on your first run around, you want to, or this is our second run around, you want to add a little bit more tension this time. But just the amount of tension you could pull with your fingers. You're not even really using your arms at this point. Just a small loop on each one. And now as I do this, I'm flipping it back and forth so I can see the effect that I have on the head and on the ring on each one of these pulls. I'm pulling between my thighs. If you pull up here, it's going to whip out and hit you in the face. If you pull too far down, you don't get enough tension. So just right here, so that you're grabbing the head right about where your knees are, is a good leverage spot. Always paying attention to the placement of your straps on the ring there too. Keep them nice and even. Get your spacing right so it looks good. You can increase your tension just a little bit each time as you go around, but still keeping relatively little tension the first couple pulls around, because you're really trying to place the head in the center and place that ring in the center. This knot here, this is your back knot, this is your front knot. The front knot is exactly the same as the back knot, with the slack going out in the opposite direction so they don't have to cross over each other. Makes it uneven and not neat looking.